Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome to a brand new Fallout 76 video. So, yesterday Bethesda released a new trailer, and the rewards for the upcoming Season 21 Fallout 76 is called Gone Fission. And we also get confirmation of the release date as well, which will be Tuesday the 3rd of June, so just under 2 weeks as of time of recording. So yeah, predictable, exactly the date I was expecting. It's the first Tuesday of the month of June specifically. So yeah, that's when we'd expect them to be aiming for, and it looks like everything is more or less on track. They actually closed the public test server a little early because they wanted to respond to feedback and do some slightly more intensive stuff, I guess. They wanted the server down for it anyway, so we kind of knew this was coming from that point of view as well. They were making their final run towards launch, but that's very cool. It's also interesting that it's the same day as Atomfall's DLC releases, and there's a whole lot happening in the next couple of weeks in terms of the game release schedule. Some big, some small, so yeah, lots going on. However, we're here to talk about Fallout 76 and the new season, so shall we have a look at the rewards? Very brief overview in a nutshell. If you're a camp fan, this is going to be good for you. If you are a weapon skin fan, you'll be doing alright. And if you're into fishing, you will definitely be eating fairly well out of this as well. If that doesn't cover you, maybe less enthusiasm is going to be found for this particular season. But there we go. Let's have a gander. So, page numero uno. And we have, of course, the score booster there, which is cool. Make sure you go straight for that if you're a Fallout First player, and then get that head start as quickly as possible. From the look of things, whilst Season 20 was shorter than usual, because Season 19 and that period it was extended and released 2 weeks late, I think? Later than normal. Anyway, it looks like this season will be the usual length of pretty much bang on 3 months. So, we have the Ruby Reel Rod, which I'm guessing is either a skin or an appearance for a fishing rod. Again, Fallout First. Superb Bait. So this is only available from, at least at the moment, the season. I did have some concerns on the PTS that Superb Bait might wind up behind the Fallout First limit, restriction rather, and that would have been something to shout and make noise about, but they've got it right and it is not, so that's cool. There is a flare there, and the hanging fish nets will look good for particularly decoration in general, as will the hanging dollfish, although I suspect the hanging dollfish is going to be quite large, so big outside space required for that. But yeah, if you want to do a fishing-themed camp, or just have extra, salvage-type vibe to your camp build, then the fishing nets will be good for that. A lot of the boxes and stuff that I used to use in Fallout 4, there's one particular unit of a pile of them that I had modded in, that were from elsewhere in the Fallout 4 game, and they had a big fishing net over the top of them, and I used them in just about every build, and it still looked fine. So yeah, these will be useful in quite a lot of builds, I suspect. So, page number 2. Baskets of dead fish. Gonna make your camp smell, but nonetheless, a little bit of extra decoration. We've got hats and a flare, and hanging buoys, which are all Fallout First. That's quite a lot of Fallout First stuff there, but has been the trend lately. I mean, it is one of the major sources of revenue after all. But yeah, some good bits there. Definitely liking the hanging buoys. I can see those going on the walls in my camp. I had some of those modded into Fallout 4 as well. We get our first skin here, which interestingly is for the Ripper. I haven't seen many people actually using Rippers as a weapon. I think there's just better options out there. But if you want to go for a one-handed chainsaw, effectively, that's your choice. So there's that. I do like the paint job. It looks very cool, the shark's tooth design and stuff. And it's going to be running through the season. I'm a little unsure as to why they've called it a Spitfire paint, though. Speaking strictly as a British person, that doesn't seem to have a whole lot to do with Spitfires, unless maybe there was a similar paint job on a Spitfire of the time, a famous one maybe. But yeah, it seems a little odd. Shark's tooth would make more sense. Anyway, a boat fishing rod display is interesting. It looks possibly like it might have space for 3 fishing rods on it, which is cool. Here's a weird thing about this, though. Fishing rods are modified at the weapons workbench, I believe, unless they've changed it. They were a few weeks ago anyway. But they don't appear in your inventory as a weapon. They just don't take up space, they don't have weight, they're just sort of invisible in your back pocket until you go fish, or you want to modify them. So actually, how this works is a bit weird. I guess it just appears when you interact with that specific display and the options there. I'm guessing we'll also have the option to craft rods. Because you get your first one just handed to you as part of the quest line, but I guess we'll figure out how we get more designs of rods and stuff. There are rods on this board, so there's some question marks there that I'm sure will become clear within a couple of weeks. But for now, we'll have to see. And we've got a trawler suffix, supposedly, there. And some atoms as well. Speaking of, for Season 20, obviously this ends on the 3rd of June, the morning thereof, so make sure by then you have claimed anything you want from Season 20, because when it's gone, it's gone. Don't miss out on those things you want to get, especially after you've earned the tickets. So, page number 3. Couple of cool bits here. Seaweed Stash Box is... It's a very light touch retexture, I think, of the existing, or an existing style. I'm not a big fan of this. I think there's a sea chest style with like a rounded top that actually looks like a treasure chest, with loads of fishy bits on it. I think it might be from a previous season, I think. That is already floating around in the game. It is a better fit to my mind, but okay, that's fine. It's also Fallout First. There's more atoms for Fallout First people as well. Fish of Appalachia poster, that's fun, like that. Spitfire paint for the Gatling gun. Looks alright. I suspect you're not going to see a lot of it, though. If you're in third person, it'll be hidden by your body, mostly. And if you're in first person, it's going to be kind of too low down, I think, but still. We have a sturdy prefix, score boosters, and snorkel goggles, which is an interesting choice. I mean, they look the part, but they're going to look really weird in 76, I suspect. Mind you, they're not the only thing that will. Page 4. Light ally, Dossie. Yeah, a ghoul who is in some way connected to fishing and seems, from the trailer anyway, to have some more information and more light to shed upon the background of the fishing, quest line, setup, that sort of thing. It's not really a quest line, that's overselling it a bit, I think, but still. There's an inherent mystery in this, and it seems like she might have some input on that, so it might be worth chatting to her. So we have a t-shirt and jeans outfit and a poster with the DSSBNUD that I'm not even going to try and pronounce thing going on there. T-shirt and jeans is not the most exciting outfit design, but on the other hand, yeah, it works. It's thematic. I do like the poster a bit more. We've got a paranoid prefix and a theorist suffix. Interesting, and a player icon, and some more atoms, another score boost, more superb bait, again, open and available, which is great, and Spitfire paint for the pepper shaker. Again, some of that will be quite hard to see, but it does look cool. I do like that. Yeah, superb bait, by the way, is obviously gives you the best chance of catching the rarest of fish, and you also have weather effects going on in there as well, so... Yeah, I've done a previous video giving an overview of how most of this works and my thoughts and impressions on it as well, so I'll try and remember to link that around if you want my opinions on the fishing mechanic, but yeah. Still, an interesting addition. So, page 5, we have a dirty pond. This is an interesting idea. The picture doesn't really give a sense of scale, so I don't really know what to make of that. It might be more of a puddle than a pond, or it might actually be a decent size. One concern I do potentially have is when you see the earth around the pond there, it is a particular colour. Not too shocking. As is often the case with things like this that have earth as part of the object, they tend to relate to the look of the soil in one part of the map and not any other. So there's the barrels, the radioactive barrels with the sign sticking out of them, that's on a pile of earth. If you're in the wrong part of the map, it just doesn't match with the soil around your camp and it looks weird. This will potentially have the same issue depending on what part of the world you're in, what part of Appalachia. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. So we've got a fake taxidermy mermaid. That's moderately hilarious. I do quite like that. And a buoy. Both Fallout First. Got some free fishing nets up there. Okay, nice. An untangled prefix. Atoms. And these are fun. Vinyl. So there'll be loose vinyl. This looks like it's a wall decor item, framed vinyl, yeah. And there is also a box of vinyl somewhere to be gotten as well. So there's actually a whole bunch of vinyl-related bits and pieces for your camp, which I'm definitely down for. And we've got another cooler here. Well, a cooler rather than a stash box. Thematic with the gone fishing thing, which is fine. In fact, there is something coming on further down the line that is going to kind of make the cooler somewhat redundant. Somewhat. 75% redundant, I suspect. So, page 6, we have Icebreaker, which looks like a new weapon. It looks like it's kind of a harpoon gun, but it might be... Here's a guess, not having been able to get my hands on it and try it out. I suspect Icebreaker is to harpoon guns what Cold Shoulder is to double-barreled shotguns, as in a unique one with some specialist abilities. That's going to be my guess, but I don't know. It certainly looks like harpoon guns, so yeah, that's my big theory for now. I guess we'll find out. I mean, I'm not using heavy weapons, so I guess I won't find out, but I guess you guys will. So we've got a Poseidon arm wrestling machine. There's already an arm wrestling machine in the game, but this one has a bit more of a nautical theme. More atoms, more icons of photo mode frames and re-rollers, which are always worth having. Sugar-free Nuka-Shine. And Spitfire paint for the combat shotgun, which looks quite nice, if a little understated on the combat shotgun from the look of that. Page 7, we've got a snorkel mask. We've already had one of those, so don't know if that's a typo or not, or if it's a different version of it that also includes the snorkel. I'm guessing the latter actually is a different version with the snorkel. We've got a bunch of good camp stuff on page number 7 now. Definitely looking forward to getting hold of this one. We've got a drowned chaise-longue, which is nice. We've got bottle clutter, so you can put bottles around your kitchens and what have you, and your work surfaces and your tables and stuff. That's definitely nice. I'm very, very happy about that. Additional tabletop and surface clutter items are something that do a really good job for bringing camps to life. And there's a lot of floor decor items there that are, do the job, but this is specifically good stuff, and we've been getting a load more of that sort of thing lately. The Luke's vinyl records and the crate of vinyls that are up there as well, those also do the same sort of thing, so definitely happy about that. And a whole load of neon lights as well, which are Fallout 1st exclusive, but still very, very cool. Some of this is Fallout 1st, some of it's not, which is, yeah, there looks to be an okay balance there, I think, on that one. Not too shabby. Another score boost, we've got a goo letter set, which I'm not a big fan of. The goo stuff's fun, but it's just too of a style that is not my style, if that makes sense. I like to have lore-friendly, convincing, realistic, believable camps. Even when I do things that are perhaps a little bit of a stretch, they look like they belong, or at least that's what I'm going for usually. And this just doesn't make sense in that vibe to me. Each of their own, of course, but, you know, that's my feeling on it. Yeah, I think there's some good bits and pieces there. Also worth noting that probably in September, maybe in December, but later on this year, Bethesda are due to be updating the building menu, the camp building menu, which obviously has gotten very, very unwieldy over the years, and it definitely is in need of a reorganisation. So, yeah, that is due later this year. We've not heard anything about it since the initial mention, but definitely looking forward to that, and a lot of this stuff will definitely be benefiting from that in time. Page number 8, what have we got here? Display fishhooks. Now, does that mean you hang things on the fishhooks? Yeah, presumably that's the idea, you hang stuff on them. I'm guessing fish. They're Fallout 1st. So one of the things I would like to see is there's a variety of fish tanks. Different sizes, that sort of thing. Really, really big ones down to more compact ones so that you can have them on smaller surfaces and things for displaying your caught fish. Right now, that is not a thing, but fish hooks look like they might go at least some way towards allowing you to display the fish you have caught. I'm assuming from this. So we've got a drowned spotlight lamp. Okay. Don't see myself using that a lot, but I will grab it. A fishing rod, baby rattle, and we're going to not call it that. We're going to call it a float, because that's what it is. It is not a bobber, and I am not 5 years old. Moving on. And also not going to be using that suffix either, for the same reason. Gone fishing neon sign is nice. I like that. That's very cool. I'm curious about the size of the thing. That will have an impact. And Jitterbell's framed vinyl cover. Okay, more wall decor. Cannery. So this is a big one. The Cannery is part of the, obviously the season. We're on page 8 here, so we're 2/3 of the way along it. Basically, this will allow you to use a fair amount of scrap to produce clean aluminium cans. You can then put your cooked food in so that it won't spoil, which is handy for, you know, intermittently used stuff, or if you want to sell food, that's good. One thing I do note is that it's, from what I saw of the menu a few days ago, there's a lot of the better food is not available to be canned, which may be a deliberate choice to sort of limit its use, you know, as a bit of a, you know, you got to keep working at it to get the best stuff and make things, you know, not just hand it to you on a plate. But there's also the other side of this is that it's another example of them cutting out challenge. So, like fast travel, for example, that's and encumbrance, they're getting changed so that you will be able to fast travel well over incumbent, but it will just cost you more. So that's you know, it's another example of Bethesda taking challenge out of the game, and I fear the Cannery machine is moving in that direction as well. Although I suspect the deliberate exclusion of certain food types from the Cannery machine might be a nod towards not going too far in that direction. But anyway, before I rant about this sort of thing, there is the Cannery machine that will allow you to make your food not spoil, or at least some of it. Page 9, we've got a taxidermy shark jaw, which I'm guessing is quite large. Fun idea, probably won't use it myself. A fishing rod grenade float, which is interesting. Shark tooth flare, I've got an icon, some caps, and the houseboat survival tent. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't like the design. It kind of makes me think Wavy Willards in a few areas, actually. There's a few bits and pieces they've added and things like that in the game that have this kind of visual aesthetic, and I really don't like it. It's just not me. Your mileage may vary, of course. As to whether or not the houseboat survival tent is worthwhile, it kind of hangs on what's inside it and how big it is. It looks quite large, but it probably won't be massive. If it's got a good workbench in it, and it's got all the other, it's got stash box, scrap box, ammo box, and a cooking station, it just depends on its usefulness, depending on what's in there. By the way, it's an option. I will probably grab it, whether or not I use it is a different matter. And we've got the Spitfire paint for the chainsaw, which looks really weird with the big bow blade on there, but still. Yeah, not a bad look, and definitely a big thematic change, because they're normally quite orangey, the chainsaws, so that's nice, unless of course you've got a different paint on it, I suppose. Page 10, we've got Plesiosaur? Plesiosaur? No, that's not pronouncing right. Plastic dinosaur that it looks like it was a dolphin with a giraffe's neck attached. And that'll be quite large. We've got a few of these, and if you're into putting these big weird things in your camp, go for it. Not for me, but yeah. Another one of those. Lily pad platforms I'm curious about. We've seen in the trailer, which I'll also try to remember to link down below by the way for you, that these actually do float and are placeable on water, which is really cool. I don't suppose you'll be able to snap walls to them and actually build on them. They might make bridges between waterborne structures if you want to build a camp over water, which would make some sense if you're going to do a lot of fishing. Incidentally, with the fishing update coming, I am going to do a fishing-related camp that I'm going to aim to be movable, because that will be useful for people, I think, especially as you want to catch fish in different regions of the map in order to get the full selection. So, we've also got Fish of Appalachia Savage Divide poster, so these are based on the regions. That's cool, because I think the last one was the forest, wasn't it? This is a Savage Divide. We've got the angular suffix, we've got some icons, we've got more vinyl to put on your wall, we've got Spitfire paint for the Tesla cannon, and a couple of other consumables. And page 11, we're nearly there now. We have the Fishy Stein, which is interesting, faintly disturbing, but quite cool at the same time. We've got a fishing rod light bulb float. That's fun. That's different. I like that. That's creative and quite cool. More bottles, always welcome. Toxic Valley poster for fish. The Isotope Isaac player icon is one of the first ones I've seen in a while that I think is quite cool. That's a vibe. I quite like that one. Don't know if I'll use it. I'll probably stick with the Nukashine one that I've been using for donkey's years. But nonetheless, that's quite cool. The Gone Fishing Wall Art, Seaweed Scrap Box, an Isotope Isaac frame. Have we got one of these that matches for the ammo box, though? I haven't seen one. And we really do need one, because otherwise ammo boxes seem to get left out a bit, I find. We also need a different form factor for them that is not so huge with annoyingly large collision boxes on it that won't let you place stuff on them. Because not being able to put stuff on top of the ammo box and there's a scrap box is also very irritating to me as a camp builder. Anyway, bonus page number 1, we get a houseboat prefab, which I will definitely have to try out and see what we can build with that. There's a fairly obvious idea already springing into mind, so yeah, maybe some ideas for that in, well, we're at the end of the season, probably late August by the time I get this far along the score pages, the season pages, but yeah, nonetheless, houseboat prefab, that's cool. Bottled octopus. That I have seen in various places, both on the public test server and in the trailer. It's very, very cool and kind of a fun thing to put on your counters and things and around your camp, especially if you go for a fishing camp. Bloodletter kit. Now this looks much the same as the goo one, but is slightly more convincing and also believable, and good if you want to do a raider camp. But finally, I've said this on and off for a while, bit by bit getting pieces that will go together to make a fun raider camp if you want to. It's more viable than it's ever been now, as it certainly wasn't in days gone by. Oxygen tank backpack. looks pretty cool. I like the look of that. That's fun. Nuka-Cola float for your fishing rod. That makes sense too. I'm not surprised to see this in here. Maybe a little surprised to see something like that so far down the pages, but still, quite cool. Spitfire paint for a weapon that needs taking out of the game altogether. It's not the worst offender, but it's pretty annoying. Fish head fishing rod display. So that looks like it's a single fishing rod display, but with a wooden backboard and then fish heads on it. That's weird. Got a fishing player icon, which is also quite nice. I do quite like that. Colour scheme in it pops quite nicely. And a sea serpent statue, which is, again, interesting, but probably not exactly high on my personal priority list. And then there's an ash heap poster there, which got, not surprisingly, some creepy-looking fish on it. And finally, last but not least, we have the bonus page, wherein you can get everything from rank 150 beyond, in terms of mostly consumables on here. There's extra bait and legendary modules, we've got some atoms and other bits and pieces as well. So yeah, as standard. So, there we go. Gone Fishing, the new Season 21 that launches on the 3rd of June. As I said, if you're into fishing stuff and you're into camp building, you're definitely eating well. There's a few good skins here for weapons as well. Outside of that, you're maybe going to struggle a little bit if you're not into those things. There's maybe not so much here for you. So I suspect this is going to very much divide the community. Mind you, just about every season does that, so no shock there. But still, I think this is all right. Looks like a very thematic one for the update. And there's some cool stuff that I'm looking forward to getting hold of here. So yeah, I hope you guys found this useful, informative, and interesting. I hope you guys are looking forward to jumping into the fishing update and the new season. Let me know what you think down below. For me, the fishing is, in a nutshell, it's the most interesting fishing system I've ever seen in a game. That being said, the most interesting version of an already very boring thing is still pretty boring. In my view. I know there's plenty of people are madly enthusiastic about fishing systems in game, and that's great. I do not understand it at all. I don't get this at all. But hey, as long as people are enjoying it, that's the main thing, isn't it? It is new, something new to engage with a different type of gameplay. I do think Bethesda could have gone further at making it more interesting and engaging and having more player involvement, because most of it's just press a button, wait, press another button, which arguably is the entirety of gameplay, but you know. There's a bit more timing and specifics that could have been put in there, and player involvement, I feel. Still, that's my 2 cents on the subject. I think it's nice to see something that is a little different coming into 76 anyway. If you liked the video, please consider dropping subs and likes. I very much appreciate it. We've got a notification bell and social media links down below, and channel memberships if you want to support the channel. I really appreciate that. And if you get a chance to join us for live streams as well, we are, of course, playing Fallout 76. We've got Oblivion Remastered on the go, and jumping back into Atomfall, and there's a whole lot of other bits and pieces in our sight for the summer and beyond as well. So if you want to watch some live streams, then we've got plenty to keep you busy there. Do hope you'll join us for that. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.